Hey, so I was answering a question on LinkedIn actually, and I started to ramble and it got too long. So I decided I would come over here to Facebook, do a video here, and then I'm going to take it and I'm going to post it on LinkedIn like I do sometimes. So if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll notice a lot of the same videos are on Facebook. You see them first here on Facebook. So the question was in regards to a post that I posted an article that I found that talked about how banking leadership is finally coming to the understanding that they have to come into the 21st century, and that old leadership models of the hierarchical structures and secrecy and not sharing of information, not being transparent, that stuff doesn't work in today's society. And if they want to be successful as banks and not be disrupted by all the things that are happening in banking these days. I mean, there's a lot happening in that monolithic industry. And when you think about banks changing, that's like, wow, so much has happened. But they're finally realizing that with this coming of the digital changes, banking leadership even needs to change. So everybody needs to understand this. And so the question came was, well, yeah, that's true, but what do they change to and how do they change? So I'm going to answer the how question, but I have a million other thoughts about the what question, and you've seen a lot of those. But leadership change is the same as any kind of change, any behavioral change that happens. It doesn't happen overnight. There is no such thing as a event-based change for something as fundamental as the way you think or believe or work. Hey, David, good to see you. The way we actually believe, right? Because the way you lead is the way you believe. I firmly believe that people are doing the best that they can, what they think is right with the information that they've got right now. They may have outdated information. They may have wrong information. They may have different information than you have. You may have wrong information. Take that into consideration. When you judge someone else's actions as being wrong, you need to understand that your lens may be wrong. I've always wanted to get two pieces of polarized film. You know, I'm talking about it's a piece of film that's polarized, like polarized sunglasses. And if you hold polarized sunglasses like this, with the polarization going opposites, that goes black. If you hold it like this, it goes clear. And if your fundamental beliefs of the way the universe works are aligned, then you see clearly together. But if they're not, you see less and less clearly. And if mine are at 90-degree angles to your beliefs, then we don't see each other at all. And you have to understand that I would fully believe that what I'm doing and saying and feeling is correct and right and the best thing for me, for the world, for everything. And you may have a 90-degree perpendicular belief that you believe just as firmly is the right and best and truest thing to do for all of humankind. But our basis is different. And so, yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. So how do you change that? When you realize, crud, there's a bookcase here. When you realize, I'm wrong, but I have this history and this ingrained pattern of acting a certain way. How do I break that? Because this event-based change kinds of concept, what you'll see is temporary behavioral change, but you won't see the long-lasting underlying belief change, right? You see behavioral change, but not belief change. And so this is the way we work. Our beliefs drive our actions. What you believe is right is what you will do most of the time. And that action gets some kind of result. I don't know what the result is, but it gets some kind of result. That result goes into your memory banks and gets filed along with all of the other copies of when I took this action, I got this result. When I turned the hot water thing to the left, counterclockwise, anti-clockwise, the action I took, and turned on the water. Wait a minute. I got hot water. That goes into my memory banks. Turn it anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, and I get hot water. So my memory, as I'm thinking about taking a shower, I think I should turn it anti-clockwise so that I can have hot water. And I do that. I believe that it's the right thing to do based on my thoughts. This is like pulling the files. This is a file folder here of all the past things that have happened. And I pull a file out, and that becomes my thought about that. My memory bank said this. So I pull that thought out. I believe that I will get hot water. I take that action and I get hot water. And that just adds another file in here, another piece of paper in here, and adds another piece of paper in here, and keeps adding to that memory bank that I have of this is how things happen. Now, what happens when, I won't say this ever happened at my house, but if somebody happened to be working on the hot water shower knob and happened to put the, I don't know what the piece is called, but I put it in upside down and it made it the opposite. So when you turned it clockwise, you got hot water, and anti-clockwise, you got cold water. My daughters did not appreciate it because it was in their bathroom. That goes in here as an error. It goes in there as wrong, as something is amiss. This is whoop, 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 whoop. I don't know if you can see this. This is supposed to be highlighted orange, bright color. Oh my God, something's different, but it's only one. And so when I come to my thoughts, I rifle through here. I go, you know what? It happened that one time, but most of these say, turn it anti-clockwise and I'll get hot water. I believe that. I take the action, get results, and I add another, and I got hot water this time. So fewer and fewer and fewer of those events means, and more of the ones that reinforce that belief, reinforce the belief. And that's how we act. That's the way we work. If you want to change this, this is where you do it. Because this is really what we have control over. You have control over, well, this piece right here. Your thoughts leading to your beliefs. Your beliefs are going to drive your actions. It's just the way it is. It really is. This is where you hear the concept of self-sabotage that I was literally talking with someone about the other day, my own self-sabotage. Beliefs about, and then taking actions that are based on those beliefs subconsciously, getting results that reinforce that belief. You have to break it here. When you pull the file, you have to go, no, I believe differently. I've learned something. My thoughts, my intelligence, my intellect is being used. And I am changing the way I think about this. I am determined to change the way I think about this. And then with a strong enough thought of, there's the concept of the pain-pleasure principle. If I get enough positive thoughts in my head about this thing and enough negative thoughts against what my memory has told me, and they act as like white blood cells, right? To try and fight off the disease that was the memory, because that memory was based on a different set of beliefs and thoughts. We realized that something has changed, so now we want to change the way we act. So we pile up positive things that reinforce the new way we want to act. We pile up a whole bunch of negatives against the old way of acting. We don't want to act that way. And eventually you'll change the belief. That maybe just once. And that will do an action, which will get you a result, which will end up putting one file over here. And the problem is, the next time you come to this situation, if you don't have these in place, still reinforced, your thoughts will go over here to the filing cabinet, and they will pull the majority. They will pull the biggest set. you have to put these in place and say, no, I want to believe a different way. I'm going to act a different way based on this new belief I have, and I get different results. And now there's one more. And eventually, as you build up more of these, they cancel out the old way of thinking and believing, because that in this book, my Being Agile in a Waterfall World book, I talk about paths in a jungle. And when I was a kid, we used to live on about 1.5 acres of forest. And my dad hacked a path through with a machete at one point. And if we didn't keep going down that path would get overgrown. And as we kept going down that path, the old path got overgrown. So the more you travel the new path, the more the old path will get overgrown. But you have to keep intentionally going back and forcing yourself to do that. And how does that look practically? Practically, that looks like you need to get training, right? You need to like understand what are these new beliefs and this new way that I should be acting or could be acting. You also need to have coaching, whether that's peer coaching, which I think you absolutely need to have, but also having an external coach. I have several coaches for different pieces of my life and my work. You need to have a coach who can help you remember, I don't want to act this way. I believe a new way. I believe a new way, and therefore I'm going to act differently. And as I act differently, I get new results that are going to feed my memory banks until they're overflowing, and this is overgrown. So that's the way it happens, and it does not happen fast. You can't get this done in a weekend. You can get a jump start on it. You can implant these ideas, but if you don't continually go back and reaffirm them and reassess them and reinstall them, the old memory paths, I mean, you've probably got decades of history of taking a particular action, getting a certain result, and that's in your memory banks. So you have to be very intentional about changing that, and it's not easy. So that's what it takes to change it. It takes intentional installation of new beliefs, and it takes peer support. It takes surrounding yourself with other people who believe the same way and are willing to confront you and encourage you to believe that new way. It takes someone to coach you personally and talk with you personally, so you can like work out what are these things that what was in that thing? Why did I think that was right? What was there? Personally, I don't like to spend a lot of time in that part of it. I like to work with my coach on the moving forward stuff. Install more of this and this for me, okay? Let's install these things more deeply. Get the roots way down deep in there so that I believe firmly in this new way that I want to act. So, wow, this was a long one. It's 13 minutes, but it's super important to understand the way your mind works and the way any change is going to happen in your life. If you want to become a better leader, if you want to become a better person, if you want to take your business to the next level, you need to do this. You need to do this. Install new beliefs. Preaching to myself. All right, I love you all, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.